Alright, so recently I just completed the entire game Joyville. Didn't take too long. You know, I have some grievances against it. The $10 price mark for a game that took me less than an hour was not the best thing, but it was an interesting game, and I'm at least intrigued to see what future sequels could come from. But I want to touch on this game, Joyville, as well as this up-and-coming phenomenon of a bunch of indie horror games that are flooding the scenes. Now, yes, indie horror games have been going on for ever, okay? It's like ever since FNAF, there's been indie horror games getting pumped out. But these ones seem different. They seem more popular. A lot of them are more in depth with their lore. A lot of them have a greater story and a greater message than just run away from scary monsters. And I want to look into this. Is this a good thing? Is it good to have this flooding of games come out? And honestly, yes and no. Because we have a lot of great games. We have a lot of fun games with a lot of story to them, and clearly some care put into them by the creators and the developers of the game. But no, because there's also a lot of games who, I mean, I don't want to fully put Joyville in this category because Joyville was a fun game, but I do have a problem with it being so short and so expensive. $10 doesn't seem that expensive for a game. But, for example, Garden of Banban, the same genre game, took 2 to 3 hours maybe for a $5 game. And then this game was 10 for, I think it took me 57 minutes. Now, it was a fun play, but I am worried that this is starting a trend of developers coming up with some plot that follows the same narrative, that follows the same, okay, we have mascots of a children entertainment or a children care place, whether that be an amusement park like Joyville, whether that be a kindergarten, whether that be a pizzeria, whether that be, of course there's like, you know, orphanages and schools and ice cream trucks and the neighbor next door and grandma's, and you have all this stuff, and then follows the same trend. Okay, so it's like children's place, so you have that childhood joy, and then you have that abandoned apocalyptic emptiness and that like dread of not knowing what comes next, and then you dead kids. And okay, so everything has dead kids, but it's following just the same pattern. You can almost, before you start the game, you're like, okay, we're gonna have missing children and we're gonna be exploring this place and monsters are gonna chase us. Why don't we have something more? Why can't there be something more fresh? Okay, Five Nights at Freddy's definitely started this train, and we had other fun games. Joyville was fun for what was there. I'm not the biggest Joyville guy, but it was playa. It was fun. Banban, I mean, I like Banban. Poppy Playtime, that's a fun game. But they, especially the last three, because you can't really, like FNAF created it, so you can't be like, oh, of course, here goes FNAF with the dead kids and the haunted animatronics, mascots. Okay, well that's their thing. They're allowed to use that. But we have it with all of these new up-and-coming indie games, and it's not fresh, okay? I want something more. I want a new idea. Why can't we have these new, fresh ideas anymore. And I understand the idea. I mean, some people, I'm gonna compare it to just, storytelling and literature on broad, even though it's, of course, just goofy video games, but you can still see kind of the same track record. The idea that no idea is original. No idea is fully original. There's no idea in which the author just was like, whoa, that's a good idea, and nothing like it has ever been done before. So you can't expect a horror game, a mascot horror game, like Garden and Bam Bam, like Joyville, like Poppy Playtime, or like all the other games, to not have the core elements of a mascot horror game. Because that's what it is. That's what it feeds off of. Five Nights at Freddy's was an original idea. Yes, these are all original ideas. But where did Five Nights at Freddy's come from? Five Nights at Freddy's was inspired by analog horror. The horror games before it. Inspired by Chuck E. Cheese and pizzerias like that. So, nothing is purely original. So that's why you might have to cut some slack for some of these games and some of these creators. I understand that, but it does not have to be exact replicas, even if it is inspired, even if it comes from the same roots of mascot horror and of, deep lore in games. But sometimes you're just playing these games and you're like, I mean, yeah, I've seen that before, and you expect that, I've seen something like that before, but sometimes it gets overdone. Alright, okay. Oh, dead kids, okay. Oh, possessed or haunted monsters that were once humans. Okay, we've kind of seen that before. That's kind of been milked dry. Why can't there be new and fresh horror ideas? Something that's not been beaten to death, metaphorically. And, I mean, I like coming up with stories, and I like coming up with fun ideas, and I have specific stories for some cool games that I think would be fun. But I also have broad examples. What have we not seen a lot of that could be a cool idea? Why can't there be something that plays more on the fantastical side of things? Something that has more, something that is more, I don't know, noir in a sense. I know that was like a really pretentious word, but something that's like, what about vampires? What about if we're in a different time period, okay? I'm pretty sure that the 70s through 90s are kind of done of just being filled with murder, okay? I think they're kind of like tired of that. Why don't we have something that sets in the early first century? Or something that, not first century. Well, yeah, maybe. I meant like the early 10th century. Or 11th century. Or vampires, or when was the last time there was a cool zombie game? Like, I love lore, and games that have deep lore, of course, are the most fun because, they have more substance to them. Even after you play the game, you have all these ideas, and you're like, oh, what does that mean? Does that connect to this? Does that connect to this? Does this mean what I think it means? Is this who this is? Is this the same person? Who are these? Why are they mad at each other? Why are they friends? Where did they meet? Stuff like that. So it does not have to stay in mascot horror. Okay, yes, we have Five Nights at Freddy's that have some mascot horror and deep lore, but those two are not married to each other. Those two ideas of video games. So we can have deep lore that just is rich and fulfilling and goes beyond the actual game. But we could have a different genre that can apply to a different genre. Think of one game that has Five Nights at Freddy's style lore, which means like just deep lore. And the lore is almost more intriguing than the gameplay itself. Think of a game like that. That is not Mascot horror. That is not We Have Dead Kids. Okay? The dead kids in Five Nights at Freddy's was almost something you had to discover. In the first game, oh, 5 missing children. Oh, 5 animatronics. Oh, we have this. Oh, in FNAF 2, the FNAF 2 animatronics are trying to protect the kid. Oh, they think we're this. Why are they attacking the security guard? Because they've seen a security guard killing the kids. Often the purple guy dressed up like a security guard. Oh, and it all connects. And you have that feeling of, whoa, that is a lot deeper than I thought it was. That is something that's amazing. Whoa, I never would have thought of that. And you have communities coming together. And you have people across the world. You have a guy in the UK talking to a guy in the US talking to a guy in China about 5 Nights. Do they have 5 Nights at Freddy's in China? I don't know. But you have people coming together online just to talk about your game. That's what you want. That's what you want. That's what people did with Freddy. And that's what people still sort of do. People were like, oh, Joyville, let's see, what kind of lore can we find here? Oh, Garden Bam Bam, what lore can we find here? Puppy Playtime, what lore? And yes, we have all that. But people are starting to talk less and less. And a new Mascot horror comes out. Oh, yeah. We'll watch our favorite YouTubers play it. We'll watch, Game Theory, make a video on it. Well, maybe we'll play it once. Maybe we'll just, watch clips or watch the gameplay of it. I don't know. It's just $5. Maybe I'll get it. Oh, this one's $10. No, I don't think I'm going to get it. Because it's just milked dry. And I feel like it started with a good intention, but it's becoming to the point where it's almost like there's just one guy who is like, oh, I can, create a storyline that makes sense and is kind of creepy and just hide it in a game and put it in parts between where you're running from a monster, you're solving puzzles, and sell that for $5 and just milk sequels out of it. And just add a new monster, a new colorful monster. Okay, boom. And I'm at the point where I'm like, is this what I want to see from a game? Is this what I'm like, oh, this is a great game. There's just some of the video, I didn't have a huge a huge script or speech printed out where I'm on a soapbox and I'm like, here is the game that I want to see. All I'm saying is that I love horror games. I love video games. I love talking about lore of the video games as a community. And I get to make videos and people make videos. And you go online and people are talking to each other and just having fun. Just having fun together. But it's not fun when everything is manufactured and packaged and so stale and milk dry. That's not fun. That's not what I like to see. Garden Bam Bam is still fun. I hope they don't go down the rabbit. You sort of see it. I was making fun of them a little bit, where it's oh, we're gonna have a little bit of lore here, a little paper here, a little paper here, and then we're gonna have a mascot being teased here, and then we're gonna have it in the next game, and just after every game you have the sequel right there, a link to the sequel. Do you have a planned script? Do you have a planned storyline planned out where you're I need this many games to have my full storyline, or are you just coming up as you go to make money? And listen, I'm fine with people making a game and selling that game to make money, but when money is the only thing where they're we're gonna take your money and we're gonna give you a stale product, you're gonna stop making money. People are gonna stop having fun games to talk about. So I just want more. All I'm asking for is creativity, less staleness, and just people to more community talk and just having fun, because that is beautiful. That's what makes the internet great. That's why people love video games. That's why people love That's what made YouTube. That's what made YouTube. I don't know. I'm getting off track. Moral of the story, moral of this video is, let's just not forget how mascot horror was started, and let's not destroy mascot horror as a genre by just filling it with so much garbage, and maybe 2 or 3 series are actually good, a couple are okay, you know, and a lot of them are just like the same thing. Let's make mascot horror great again. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Remember, we're all kings and queens.